I just want to kick it off by introducing our workshop speaker, Jani Jackson. I can't remember exactly when I met Jani, but it was at my first coffee of the at the chamber where
Yeah,
we
coffee
did
connection.
a coffee connection where we did a group activity and everyone was in a circle and throwing around like a ball and it was just such a fun activity and it really I learned a lot during that time and I think at that coffee I probably made some of the best friends I have at the chamber. So every time she leads a workshop we learn something new and how to just be better people, I think, around teams and individuals. And coming from the corporate world, in retrospect, I really wish I had a lot of the tools back then that I'm learning now from Jani. So I'm going to hand it over to her and let her take it from here.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with all of you because it's the second work day of the new year and it's early in the morning and you all managed to be here, like to remember that this was happening and to get here. And I'm really impressed with all of you. And I will tell you that the next 40 minutes or so, I mean, this is really going to be a workshop. This is not going to be about me talking to you because that's just, it's so much more valuable, all the things that you have inside of you. And this is about us and setting our intentions for 2022. It's not about resolutions because probably for most people, it's well documented resolutions don't work. We have great ideas, but then, real life takes over. This is also not about setting specific goals, although goals are a part of this. But what we're going to work on today is choosing a word for the year that will be a focus, something to guide you toward your goals. And one way to think about it, like that, for me, the word of the year is kind of this all-encompassing idea to use as a guideline. It's not so you look at the different areas of your life and your business and your personal life and your family and your self-development. Ideally, if you can pick a word that can guide you toward your goals in all of those areas, that would be awesome. The other thing about today is that some of you probably came into this workshop with a word already in mind or a word selected. Some of you might not even be close, and that's all fine too. The other thing is you don't actually even have to choose a word today, but this is really about working on some things to get you there. And maybe within a couple of weeks, you'll pick the word that's going to be most relevant for you. So I have a list of words that I created for you. And first of all, I'm going to, it's on a Google Doc, so I'm going to put it in the chat. And John's got all of this too, but
you want me to share the screen?
You know what, if you could share it, that would be great. So John's going to share the list on the screen. And this is certainly not a comprehensive list. It's just some ideas to get you started. And Let me actually, before we get into our breakout rooms, okay, here's how this is going to work. We've got the list up here. I'm going to give you a few minutes to just kind of look at these words, think about it, see what other words might come to mind for you. And then we're going to go in breakout rooms and you're going to have an opportunity to talk about them. When we get back, we'll kind of talk, kind of debrief that whole thing, you know, what kinds of things you talked about. But also when you come back, I'll ask you about experiences that you've already had in the past with choosing words. I'll tell you, you know, my word for 2021 was action, which is on this list probably somewhere. And I picked that word last year because I noticed that I love the idea part and the problem solving and the figuring out how to do it. But then to actually do the tedious work that those ideas generated is not always as appealing to me. So I picked that word to help me keep my focus on getting from the fun part of the ideas to making things a reality. So that's one way to kind of think about the words. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take like 2 minutes because I can see you all reading the list and thinking about it anyway. We're going to take 2 minutes to be quiet and think about it. And then John, if you could put us in rooms of groups of 3. Let's see, 3 to 4. So yeah, so 4, 5, wait. I'll just be quiet and count.
There's 15.
Yeah, so 5 rooms. Thank
Does
you.
that include you, Jani? 15 include Jani?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but I'll probably come and go. So one room might have 2.
So, okay, so
Or
how
we
many?
could do, if we do 4 rooms, then most of them will have 3. Let's do 4 rooms.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to get ready to put you in rooms. So when you get in your breakout room, what I would like you to do, first of all, if one person, so you all have the link to the Google Doc, if one person wants to pull up that document and share your screen, that would be great. Do people have the, yeah, they're allowed to share screen. So one person could share the screen in the breakout room if you want to. And what I would like you to do, you're going to have 15 minutes. I want you to talk about words that have promise to you or that are of interest to you and why. And you can also talk about anything related to this concept. One of the things that I'm really aware of in this process is that we don't, some of us know each other well in this group and some of us don't. And this is a really personal process. So you're invited to talk about it at whatever level is appropriate for you. So does that make sense? All right. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing, what you're supposed to talk about, what the goal is?
I do. If you can break that down to me, just to kind of, so, and how long do we have to talk about this?
You're going to have 15 minutes. And so what you're talking about is either the words from the list or other words that you've been thinking about. Which words have potential for you for a word for the year, or even which ones sound really interesting to you? Anybody else? Okay, so we're gonna send you into the rooms, and I'm gonna pop into different rooms here and there. It's possible, let's see, when you get it set up, John.
It's ready to go, and you'll end up in a room if you decide to join.
Okay, so maybe what we'll do, oh, so you've got me with, okay, so can we change it to?
If you can, it would be,
I
if you,
can do-
if you
Mhm.
created the breakout rooms, then you'd have more options.
Okay, I'm gonna make 4 rooms.
So I'm going to close what I've got going on.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we've got 4 rooms. One of you've got 4 people in your room, but you'll be able to. You'll be
And
good.
yeah, the timer. So you've got the timer then. 14
I'll time
minutes.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just do it manually. Okay. All right, go have a really valuable conversation.
Okay.
Okay, have fun. Rooms are open.
Jani, I'm not going in. Let me
You know,
pause the.
you're not in a room.
I
You can
know.
join one if you'd like.
Yeah, let me pause the recording though. Hang on.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I love it when everyone comes out of the breakout room at the very last second when it kicks you out. And because I'm sad that you didn't get to finish whatever sentence or paragraph you were having, but I'm happy that you were having such a good conversation that you stayed till the very last second. So thank you for that. My first question for you now that you're back is if anybody wants to share anything that came out of your conversation, or you know, how you might use this. And feel free to, this is the part of the workshop where everybody goes off mute, and feel free to speak up. And James, I hear you've got something to tell us, so thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for something that I was going to send to Nyla.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, I invite you all to be off mute for this, because I just want it to be, pretend we're in a room together and we're just talking.
You know, one thing that just really, when I was in a breakout room anyway, is that it's obvious that everybody wants to change.
Mm.
That nobody said they wanted to gain 20 pounds.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, quite the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. After, yeah, but it's inspiring to know that we as humanity, in a situation where we look at the new year 2022, that we want to be better than we were before.
Absolutely.
And the great thing about a group is, you know, you can support each other in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also found out that I have a same habit as John. We both pee in the morning.
I do too.
That's kind of universal then, huh?
Well, it's kind of more like who doesn't, right?
Right. Anita, you had something you wanted to?
Well, we had an awesome group. I couldn't have been put in a better group. Our goals were challenge, giving, optimism, and gratitude, and just such important goals for everybody, or words for each person that they chose. And so we decided we're going to keep in touch. We're going to every once in a while just make sure that see how it's going with the other folks in the group in following their word. And I'm pretty excited about that.
I love that. I love that you're going to do that. That's awesome. That kind of goes to another question that I have for the group is what are some strategies that you can use to make sure that you keep your word in your focus, that you stay focused on it. And that's a great one.
I would say maybe just writing it down completely and just taping it right in front of your desk or wherever it may be. So it's just right in front of your face. Or
Yeah.
you tape to the ceiling in your bedroom. So you wake up and you look up, it's right there.
So speaking of that, I told you my word for last year was action. Now I don't have my self view on, but here's my little sticky note that is right here in front of me. Yep. All the time. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, John had mentioned in our group, tracking, right? Tracking. And I find that I do that. You know, I'm addicted to tracking certain behaviors, activities, whatever. And so I've been doing that for many years, and I find that really helpful in keeping, and I look at that and go, oh shit, there's no check there today. I didn't do that. Damn, you know.
Wow, that's helpful for me. There's something that I had decided I was going to do every day. And, you know, and it's a writing process, but what happens is sometimes I pick up the little journal and the last date was 5 days ago. So yeah, if I had, if I were making the checks, I'd notice that sooner. I like that.
Well, I'm coming off Atomic Habits High. And I actually am committed to go back through the book and do everything again, the exercises. But one thing that I would offer to people, which is, and I'll use myself as an example, I have a piano in the other room I haven't played in a couple of years. And my background is music. And Stephanie knows more than anybody, it's music is what feeds me. But one thing I picked up is that 2 minutes a day, just 2 minutes a day is all it will take for me to be into a habit of, it's easy to do. And that's one of the principles, is to make it really, really easy. So if you want to learn to meditate, you can start by doing it 2 minutes a day. If you want to start jogging, you can do it 2 minutes a day. And don't try to do it any longer than 2 minutes. Just do 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, people, I think when they make a change, at least I do, make things just big and overwhelming and extremely difficult to accomplish. So one thing that came out of our group, and I mentioned, was just keep it easy, keep it small, keep it, just be consistent. In 2 minutes a day, you can get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the Kaizen philosophy also. It's like break it down to the smallest thing that you can't say no to.
Yeah. The research shows that if you do that 2 minutes a day, at the end of the year, you will have accomplished 36% more than what you had you not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just simple.
Yeah, Brian Tracy talks about next steps, writing down all of the next steps and do those.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts that came from your discussion about words? Yeah, Susan?
I think that we were talking about applying these strategies. I personally plan to take time, the 2 minutes a day, John, to use that word either through meditation or prayer, and at the beginning of the day, and say, I'm opening myself up to whatever comes across my path that's focusing on this particular word. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you.
One of the things that it came up right when you asked me to pick, like asked us to pick a word or think about a word, because I haven't done this or seen it before today. And my first thought was, and I said this in the group, is I can't pick a word for 2022. I can tell you what the word was for 2021 now that 2021 is over. And I say that because the last couple of years, nothing could have been predicted. I could not have told you what 2021 and 2022 were going to look like. I know what word I hope 2022 looks like, but who knows what the heck is going to happen this year. And next January, I may tell you, so I thought the word was going to be this, but this is what it really turned out to be.
Yeah.
How about the word pivot then, JB?
Yeah.
James said, how about the word pivot? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think, you bring up a really good point too. There is this thing about January, kind of resolutions fall into this, setting your annual goals. It's like we feel like it's a new year. So now we have to, figure out everything for this year. And why, it's a good time to do that. And winter solstice, and then, we're heading into spring and all of that. Renewal, that all makes sense, but just because you pick a direction on January 4th, that doesn't mean that that has to be the direction for this calendar year. If it changes, then it changes, but this process is really about thinking about what you want, what's important to you, and aiming for that. But it doesn't mean that. I think one of the benefits in choosing a word is that it's not the same as a goal where you say, I'm going to do this or have this or, achieve this. It's more about the intention and the focus and the direction that you want to go. So we are going to wrap up with a little activity, and I'm going to put this link in the chat. Some of you have done this with me before. We're going to make a word cloud, and you can either click directly on that link, or if you want to do this from another device, you could go to menti.com and enter the code. But what you're going to find when you enter that code or you click on the link, you're going to get a question. What focus word or words are you thinking about for 2022? And if you want to just enter in the words that you're thinking about, we're going to make something beautiful and I'm going to share it with you.
Is there a code I need?
If you just click the link, you shouldn't need a code.
Okay.
But if you just go to menti.com, then the code is in the chat. But
Yeah, it's 506
Okay.
64159. Is that helpful?
Perfect. Thank you.
And you can all see the word cloud that we're creating now, right?
Yeah,
Good.
that's cool.
Yeah. I think I set it up so, it gives you the opportunity to put in 3, and then I think I set it up that you could put in more than that if you want. If you submit your first 3, I think it gives you the opportunity to put in more. So just to wrap up, because we are kind of at the end of our time, did anything stand out to you from the word cloud?
Freedom.
Yeah, yeah,
So Jani, are the words bigger if more than one person have the same word?
yep. Yep.
Because
the
I see
words
like
that-
optimism. Oh, it's because it was spelled wrong. I was like optimism.
Well, and you know, that's something interesting about word clouds also is I notice sometimes that there are different versions of the same word, like grateful is here. I don't see gratitude, but if it were, you know, they would have those would be the same concept, but different words. I see Stephanie on there. Woohoo!
I wonder who that's from.
I wonder,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I don't
wonder who wrote
know.
that.
Yeah, I wondered how that word came about.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you all for being here today and participating. And I hope that it was valuable for you and that the words that you chose or that you're in the process of choosing are really going to be able to make a difference for you this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.